This here is nature's answer to modern technology. This is nature's iPod. It's a pod. Well, I have a broken one here, and inside the seeds, these dark emony seeds, are used as eyes in sculpture done by the Tswana people. So iPod. In fact, I'll now show you podcast. This is Tweeraferin, right at the southern tip of the Trans-Kalahari National Park. I find myself this morning in slightly unfamiliar surroundings. I'm in a very, very busy campsite. We arrived last night at Tweeraferin, the southern end of the Kalahari Trans-Frontier Park. And it's a packed campsite, even though it's out of school holidays. It's absolutely packed. So I was a bit disappointed when I arrived. But the reason why I'm here is to test some new caravans. Yes, that's another thing I'm doing that is not that familiar to me. I'm caravanning. But the caravan that I'm testing is not an off-road caravan, and nor really is it an on-road caravan. It's something in between. Two weeks ago, also in the Northern Cape, I met up with a team from Jurgens Ci while they were testing some of their new caravan models. It turned out that they were trying to break them. On their team are engineers, factory managers, designers, and even the CEO.
Yeah, we're now about 300 kilos over GM.
This was fascinating. I mean, how do you test a caravan? Well, one way it seems is to try and break it. They're loading it with lead shot and a few other items, purposefully overloading them, and then driving on some of the worst gravel roads South Africa has to offer. And then, to make matters worse, pumping up the tyres far too hard to increase the stresses on the chassis, axle and body. And then, after a long run, they measure the stresses by recording temperatures of the various components.
I think we did in the last 25 years a lot of tests, yeah, but this one was really the extreme test for everything.
There was a few questions about our products that we ourselves want to learn and see what we're now. And the trip, the results of the trip was surprisingly stunning for us at the end of the day.
The landscape and everything is really fantastic, yeah, except the roads.
A better understanding of the sort of extremes that you can push the product to, an understanding of what extremes a customer would have had to gone to in order to break it, and a chance to see whether we can design that potential break out of the system so that the customer can't do that.
At the ghost town called Piet Zonder Water, it's time to get some photographs. The Jurgens team might not have been able to break their caravans. However, while setting up for a photograph, something came along to do it for them.
There's a train! Cannot get a better picture.
Imagine if this had been the 12:30 Kimberley Express. Jurgens has been around for a long time, but in this case, these tests were mainly in preparation for the launch of 2 brand new caravans, what they like to call gravel road caravans, a brand new concept in South Africa. Jurgens Ci have just announced 2 brand new caravan models. Their current range includes the Safari, that are designed for off-road travel, and the Sprite, designed for on-road travel. There are 2 models, the compact Tourer SC and the larger Tourer SP. These vans are actually designed for the traveller that wants to extend, wants to explore further. Put simply, what Jurgens have done is they've taken the most important elements of their on-road trailers, that being luxury and living and convenience, and they've combined it with the robustness and strength of their off-road trailers. And what I'd like to do now is to show you the elements of the Tourer range that make this range very special indeed. To begin with, the trailers are a similar width to their on-road trailers. The reason for that is the trailers are wide enough to put in a bed, widthways. The reason why off-road trailers are built narrower is that the vehicle's wheels track exactly the same as the trailer's wheels, which is very important when driving off-road. But on-road it's not nearly as important. So the sleeping quarters and comfort inside the vans are very similar to the road-going caravans that we are familiar with. When you first look at the new Tourer caravans, they look similar to a road-going caravan, except perhaps with larger wheels. But they are not. What is, of course, important with a caravan that's going to spend a lot of its time on gravel roads, because remember, it's designed for the explorer, it's designed for those people that want to go out further, find new places, new destinations, which means gravel road driving. Everyone knows if you want to miss the crowds and visit the more unconventional but often more isolated places, gravel roads are something that have to be faced. You know, I can't really imagine myself becoming a caravan man, but then you never know. But I sure can understand why people love them. The great part about travelling with a caravan that I'm not used to is that I can kind of just leave my stuff lying around. I don't really have to be too worried about packing everything away in bags before travelling. I just kind of neaten it up, and that's all I have to do. Posters and advertising. While I have really enjoyed the caravanning experience, I enjoyed the Kalahari Transfrontier Park less. And it's the old problem I have with many national parks, as much as I enjoy visiting them. Of course, in the national parks of South Africa, the frustration is that it isn't the animals that are in cages, it's you. You have to stay in your car, not permitted out to feel the ground or pick the plants. For me particularly, it's a frustration. For many people, it's not a particularly worry at all.